banquet, and most poor suckers are starving to death.
I'd like to propose a toast.
This is On the Rocks with Alexander, coming at you live, where I drink with your favorite celebrities as we talk about fashion, entertainment, pop culture, reality TV, and, well, that's about it. So pop a cork, lean back, and raise a glass to On the Rocks.
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Ladies and gentlemen, and in-betweeners, tonight, comedy. Sonoma County and Palm Springs unite with two-time Grammy nominee and goddess of comedy, Judy Tenuta is here, radio personality and owner of Out in the Vineyard, and he brought wine. Gary Saperstein, who has their phone on? The dynamic tornado duo from Palm Springs, drag superstar Rusty Waters, and socialite and member of the Palm Springs Walk of Fame team, Jeff Denean Jones is here, and me, your favorite host with the deepest voice. And you might be wondering why we don't have sound effects, we don't have posters, we don't have pictures, we don't got nothing. We've had technical difficulties, but it's okay because we have wine on behalf of Out in the Vineyard, and we have vodka on behalf of me. We're going to take a breath here. I'm so sorry. Buns and Bones and Pantyhose, this is On the Rocks, the place where we're too glam to give a damn. If I've ever offended you on the show, like I'm offending you with this technical difficulties, I'm sorry. Just
Blue light special.
Yeah, no kidding. Thank you.
It's given us more time to drink.
Oh, God. A huge thank you to Santa Monica Pride. Thank you for having me as your MC for the first ever LGBT Pride in the middle of Santa Monica. If you want to catch me again this weekend, Santa Monica pub crawl from 3 p.m. to 3 a.m. The city it's out in the closet, into the bars, and there's a lot of surprises. Go to eventbrite.com, look up Santa Monica pub crawl. Thank you to our sober listeners for tuning in. We love you. Thank you for holding our hair back and driving us home. Drunk texting is literally the only sport that I'm amazing at, for which I've won awards, if you consider community service an award. Twice. Hello to our listeners around the nation on iHeartRadio, United Broadcasting Network, Player FM, Stitcher, TuneIn, Satchel, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify. Now I'm happy to announce we are on Roku, and of course we are on Facebook Live, on Trending Now in San Diego, True FM in Ohio, and on the West Coast on GED Magazine, and nationally on Queer 40. Check out my movie news now on video on queer40.com. This week I talk about the first pictures of Steven Spielberg's West Side Story came out. It looks very clean, very young, very pretty. So my comment is, weren't these kids raised on the streets of New York? It looks like they were raised on the aisles of the Gap. Come on, Steven Spielberg.
There's a pretty girl in that mirror there.
Yeah. No, it looks so ridiculous. Anyway, we're brought to you also on Here TV, HereTV.com and the Here TV app, and now on Amazon Prime. Website has been updated. Go to ontherocksradioshow.com. Mama Rose is in the chat room. Sorry, we're late. Kurt,
did he used to do the Micro Machines commercials?
I don't know, but I thought...
No, because I have to get through.
I thought Porky Pig had a radio show.
He's moving so
How dare you, Judy? I was on a diet, Porky Pig.
It's your voice.
Kurt, do you have a pun? Real fast. You have to turn that off.
I had one, and then I kind of got
beyond the
kind
live
of lost
stream.
in all
Okay,
the
all right.
so I'm
Thank
sorry.
you, Kurt. Also, San Diego Pride. I am your MC for LE Party. San Diego Pride. Drag yourself to brunch at 10 a.m. and the mega pool party for thousands until 7 p.m. Go to leparties.com. Turn your phones off. Oh, my God. I literally am just about to give up. Also, you'll see me at Gay Wine Weekend. Go to gaywineweekend.com. We're going to talk about it all. Let me formally introduce our panel for today. We have Jeff Denean Jones, straight from Palm Springs. He works with the Walk of the Stars for the city of Palm Springs, with the Palm Springs Chamber of Commerce. He also works with Palm Springs Pride with their branding and social media. He is a socialite in all terms of the word. Returning to On the Rocks, please welcome Jeff Denean Jones. Thank you. Whose phone is still on right now?
It's not mine. Mine's off.
Not mine.
Nope.
My phone is dead.
Yes, there we go. Okay. Also joining us from Palm Springs, driving 3.5 hours of traffic to sit here for 2 hours, we have Rusty Waters, Southern California's OG diva and comedian extraordinary. Started entertaining SoCal audience over 20 years ago at the Odd Supper Club in Orange County. Turn your phone off. Is that you, Gary Saperstein?
Yeah,
Still only 20 years old. How about that? Oh, my goodness. It took me a helicopter, 3 buses, and an alpaca to get here tonight.
Oh, my God.
It's all good.
Okay,
it's all
go.
Kurt, it's playing the sound effect somewhere. Jesus Christ.
On a cracker.
Good. Stay where you're better acquainted.
I'm Catholic. I can't spread a wise man of cheese on a cracker. Okay. Rusty became a weekly headliner at the VIP nightclub in Riverside. In 1998, moved to Seattle. and hosted one of the highest attended and most beloved drag shows called Queen's Castle. Over the years, Miss Rusty Waters has worked on tons of web series, local TV shows, live radio shows, like this lovely one, event center concerts, working with such legends as Jackie Mason, Alicia Silverstone, Kathy Griffin, Hilary Duff, and Jackie Beat. Now she's back in Southern California, taking Palm Springs by storm, doing an event almost every single night. Go see Rusty Waters in Palm Springs. Please welcome Rusty Waters.
Thank you, my love. Thank you.
We're going to talk.
Finally get out here.
I know. and then sit and wait. But I want to formally introduce our panel for today. Judy Tenuta, you've seen her appear in shows from the Vagina Monologues to Menopause the Musical. Her stand-up specials have aired on Showtime, HBO, and Lifetime. She was featured as the national spokesperson for a series of Diet Dr. Pepper commercials that we love. They were filmed like little movies. Unbelievable. The self-described love goddess and the Aphrodite of the accordion has made hundreds of guests and co-hosting appearances on such popular television shows as The View, Late Night with David Letterman, Larry King Live, Entertainment Tonight, The Joan Rivers Show, and Comics Unleashed. She is a two-time Grammy Award nominee. Her comedy albums include, and if you haven't downloaded them, you're going to need to, Attention Butt Pirates and Lesbitarians, and In Goddess We Trust. She was the first female stand-up comic to win Best Female Comedian at the American Comedy Awards, which was presented by George Carlin, who she traveled with on the road. We're going to talk about that. She has co-starred in several independent films. You've also seen her on General Hospital, Corey in the House, alongside Hilary Duff in Material Girls. She's also an author, having written her Judaisms, advice, and sassy snacks in Full Frontal Tenudity. Please welcome Tenudity. Sorry. Give me a break, Judy. It's been a night. Please welcome Judy Tenuta.
Oh, it's so nice to be here.
Oh, I'm getting the death stare. Oh, look, there's a picture of you in a shoe.
I'm in a
the shoe.
Yeah.
Oh, that's where I was. I was doing the Pride Parade in either Long Beach or.
That one was Long Beach.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know.
And
You have issues?
No, no, you do, Derek. I'm going to be in the shoe again this year for the Gay Pride Parade in Palm Beach.
Palm Springs. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Can you imagine if you showed up to the wrong city? Like, here I am.
She's had some wine tonight.
My mom lived there, so I always get.
Well, Palm Springs is to the gays like Boca is to the Jews.
That is
Exactly.
That is totally right.
Hello.
But I love
there's
Palm
still no
Springs. You
beaches.
know that.
Yeah,
Oh, absolutely.
Well, and Judy, the gays, the gays love you, and it's
They
funny.
do?
Girl, we know you have done so many appearances,
you,
helping out
Judy.
organizations and events.
I love the gays.
Now, but when did that start?
I love the
Because
gays.
when
You've
you
got
first hit
to
the scene-
celebrate the gays, celebrate the gay. You got to celebrate the gays,
The gay
celebrate the
way.
gay. You got to celebrate the gay,
Yeah.
celebrate
Celebrate
the
the
gay
gay.
in
So-
the
I thought we were doing the
goddess
thing.
way.
Pop, pop, pop.
Okay, I'm cheering on for the gay.
Yes.
Yes.
But when did this love affair with the LGBT community start? Because when you hit the scene, you know, you were calling men pigs, and it was very funny, but it was very
But that's
straight.
men. That's straight men pigs.
Exactly.
Well,
But I
Bottoms,
think
that's different.
yes,
Amen,
that's
pigs.
right.
No
And-
Chipotle for them.
I don't know. I think gay men are...
Gay men pigs.
Come
That's
on, gay men.
that's
No,
a website.
that
I
listen,
think, yeah.
gay men have to date a lot. You know, the good gay men. Is there? Well,
Is there a
anyway,
bad gay man?
Yeah, no,
Are you
there's
good
not
gay
a bad.
or bad gay?
No, you know what I mean. The nice ones.
Yeah.
In every relationship, there's a nice and a mean. You know that. Come on, who am I
Right.
kidding?
Yeah, you're right.
In
You're
my
right.
relationship,
mean.
yeah. Are you? Oh,
yeah.
okay. I like it.
Oh God, he is sassy.
Yeah. So you know that's what I'm saying when you call somebody a pig because you know they're mean. I didn't mean your pig.
Is there a pig?
Yeah, I know. But when did the LGBT community start embracing you so much, and when did that mutual love affair start? How did that evolve from your comedy?
Well, no, I started in Chicago, and I was doing a show. I started in this club called Zanies, and there were some gays in there, and they go, Judy, you have to come to our club, his and
Oh, yeah.
hers. His and hers, so I go there, and then it was all, it's all over then. Then it's all, yeah, we love you. I love you too. I love you too.
Well, I think it has to do with your pageantry, because your comedy wasn't just like a stand-up comedian. You put on a
No,
full
it's over
show
the top.
with musical performances, grand entrances,
Accordions.
outfits.
Accordion.
You had men carry you out on stage.
I know.
Half
And
naked
I
ones.
think that's the reason the gays love me.
It's the accordion.
They want
Well,
those.
there it
they
is.
want to be carried.
Naked men.
Well,
yeah,
naked.
You're
Naturally.
Adonis. You're
right?
Adonis.
Half naked guys carrying you. You want
Yeah.
that?
I would.
That happens to me
Yeah,
on a
we
Thursday
all
after Hunters.
do.
They have to carry me out.
Well,
That's
yeah,
what
that
happens.
happens.
But I want to talk about the accordion. Wasn't it your mom that like kept you going with the accordion? Says, "Here, you're gonna need this."
Did you bring the accordion?
Oh my!
You
Do you
brought
have
the
an app
accordion?
for your-
Oh, she's been holding out on us.
This whole time, not a
Like, she
word.
didn't bring
Not
the
really,
accordion.
and then look at all of a sudden there's an accordion.
There's the old squeeze box.
Yes, of course. No. When I was really like 7, and I lived in the Chicago area, there was believe it or not, there was a door-to-door accordion salon. I mean, how tired is that? Yeah, but I was 7, and you see this when you're 7. I thought, oh,
cute.
Mom, I want that. It goes, honey. She said you have to practice, and what does that mean to me?
Yeah.
I don't
Right.
know what that means.
At that age, sure. Why not?
I'm going, yeah, sure, Mom, whatever you say. So anyway, then I had the accordion, and then she goes, you're going in your room to practice. I go, no, Mom, I got to go outside. Now you're in the room. No. So she would lock me in the closet until I could sing Lady of Spain in the Dark.
How very Carrie.
But Judy, when you were developing your act, when you first hit the scene, what was the idea that when it was like, okay, let's bring the accordion up on stage? Did you instantly set yourself aside from other comedians?
No, I want to tell you how that happened. I was in New York trying to be an actress, and I said, "Oh, I'm not allowed to say the F-bomb here, am I?" No. Okay. Well, anyway.
You can.
Okay. Well,
After
fine.
tonight, you
Drop
can
it.
do whatever you want.
Yeah. All right, everybody, come on, let's raise a glass.
Yes.
Yes.
Woo, we finally got the show going.
Oh, Lord. Poor Kurt.
Kurt, thank you, Kurt.
I'm there with you in spirit.
Okay. No, I went to New York when I was like, 20 years old, and I thought, oh, this is good. Goldie Hawn did it. I can do it. Yeah, right. So, no.
Where's
So
Goldie Hawn, though? You're here.
I love her.
Oh, I
She
love
was going
her
to be a
too, but
serious actress.
Oh, yeah. No.
Yeah, real
No,
serious.
but when you'd go to auditions and there's 500 people, so I'm like, this is fucked up. and my roommate Joyce said, you know what, Judy, you need to go back to Chicago and whip out your accordion and do your act, because what I would do when I was waiting to audition is I'd make fun of everybody. And
Oh my God, I love you.
So
Yeah,
that's
you
how
are
it
our
all
spirit animal.
started.
yeah, so that's how it happened. It's not like
So-
I thought of, oh no. And when I left home, when I was that age, my mom goes, "You're taking the accordion, honey."
So what did you?
She goes, "You're taking the accordion, and you'll thank me later."
And you do.
Yes, I do.
And, yeah.
She was right.
So what did you do
Moms
when
are
Weird
always
Al
right.
Yankovic showed up with an accordion? Were you like,
Oh,
that
you-
copycat?
No.
You guys had a love affair. You guys did a lot of projects together.
No, I didn't even know of him until after I started. But apparently, he started quite young, and he was doing parodies, and
Yeah.
so I
And you
was
were
doing.
both kind of really big at the same time.
Right.
Or starting
so two
to get big at the
parallel
same time.
accordion players.
Yeah,
in the
no,
universe.
but the
That's pretty
difference,
amazing.
he's really good.
Yeah.
Is he- oh,
He's a great accordion
Yeah.
player.
Is that your
I
consummate
just, let's
musician?
be honest, I can say this to my gays. I use the accordion to punish people. I think,
I love it
And
though.
we love to be
I-
punished.
Yeah.
Great way to train your love slaves.
that's
We love
right.
it.
But it's very funny.
do you have a collection of accordions at home?
I do. In fact, recently I moved. You know this, Jeff. And I have to take off my
She's
accordion.
stripping. She's stripping,
Oh my
ladies and
God,
gentlemen.
this is
She's
what
stripping.
happens
The
on
goddess
our
of
rock.
love is
Now
stripping.
on the rocks after
Yes.
dark.
It's
Yeah.
Judy After Dark. Yes.
By the time we started the show, it was clear after dark.
Yeah, so
She's the goddess sooner.
it's queer.
Yeah.
I love it. No. Yeah, so, okay, we were talking about what? Weird
Your
Al.
accordion.
Your accordion collection.
Accordion collection.
Oh, I had more accordions than I knew about. I moved from my house in Sherman Oaks to my new house in, we're not going to say where it is, but my new house it's by Universal.
Somewhere
Let's
else?
say it's, in Harry Potter's house.
Okay.
Which we
Let's
can
say-
see from this window, by the way.
That could happen.
So we're right
I
around the
could-
neighborhood.
It was a
couldn't-
$7 lift ride.
Couldn't I live in Harry
could've
Potter's
walked.
house?
You sure could. You fit right
Yeah,
in. She'll be the new Hermione.
It's a $7 lift.
I'm going to get a bill for that one. You know that?
Oh, no. So I
Can
had
you
all these
afford it?
accordions I didn't even know about because I had so many closets, so you guys would love my house. But no, I had so many closets. Like in my new house, I don't have that, and I'm sad. But anyway, and I go, oh my God, look at all these accordions. And so then I had, a little got a sale, and these people all they wanted to do was buy accordions.
Well, yeah.
Naturally.
Yeah.
Probably half of them ended up on eBay.
Did you sign any of them?
Oh,
Did
of
you-
course. I
Yeah,
have to.
Judy Tenuta
I
accordion.
signed.
You
have to.
I signed them and kissed them.
Did you get crazy ones for as
You
gifts
should
from
have your
fans?
own.
I was going to
Oh
ask
my
that.
God,
accordion.
I
Yeah.
love
Everybody's like,
Just
oh,
all
here's
decked
the
out,
You
decorated
know,
and
I
stuff.
loved it so much. When I would go out of town, one of the best accordions I ever received as a gift was, I'm in Cleveland, which, well, that's accordion
Rock
city,
of
right?
Fame.
A lot of,
Hall of
yeah,
Fame.
and also a lot of polka people, I guess.
Polka people.
I'm
That's like a horror
A lot of
film.
Germans.
John Carpenter's Polka
Yeah.
People.
it's the polka people. So I'm about to
Pennsylvania Dutch.
I'm about to go on stage. I guess it was at the Improv in Cleveland, and this lady comes with this giant green. It was gorgeous accordion. And I go, honey, that accordion's bigger than me. That is so sweet of you to give that to me. But how about this? How about if I sign it? And we leave it here as a relic, and they put it. And so they did. They put it on because
I would have asked her to take one end of it, and you take the other end of it, and you squeeze it together.
Tug of war with an accordion.
But
That's
it
a new
was a
sport.
lot of hard work, baby.
Right.
It was a lot of, the guys.
Your arm muscles must be amazing, by the way, because that's a good workout. Michael Malson from the chat room says, Judy, you look fabulous.
Oh, thank
Michael
you.
is
Oh,
my
thank you.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
shouting out
did you
to you.
tell him to do that?
No, he's a dear friend of both of ours, and he's just very excited to see you tonight.
Yes. We love Michael.
I'm flapping my lashes.
Mine
you
too.
see it,
Mine
Michael?
mine
Can
fell
you see
off though while we were waiting.
Yes.
But you have to say, with your symbiosis with Weird Al, you guys had such like a big different type
I
of
love
energy.
him.
But you really couldn't
love
put your
him.
finger when somebody would say, well, what does Judy Tenuta do or what's her thing? You really can't put your finger on it because it was such this high energy when you hit the scene, just like Weird Al.
Well, no, it's a different. I say I'm the love goddess. I have my own religion, Judaism, with Y.
Right.
And of course I have my love puppets. I love all my love puppets.
And then you have your pigs.
There are pigs. I started out because my brothers were like pigs. They
You
were
had 7 brothers, right?
Oh my God! I would wake up in the morning and I can't get out of my bedroom and the Cub game is on. Because
Pigs.
they're pigs.
I
7
envision
brothers,
like
right?
an animated little cartoon with the love puppets and the pigs. And
How
your
about
voice
how about
all
like,
over that.
like an Angry Birds Judy
Yes,
Tenuta, where you get the
exactly.
pigs out. I actually love that.
I love the pigs.
and the accordion.
Can we reach out
all
to
of it.
Rovio and create a new Angry Birds?
Why don't we make
They're
a
taking my call
cartoon?
With little accordions.
Why don't
with
we
our
make
tech
a-
here. Then we're going to set up the app right now.
Yeah.
I love it. Yay!
And we are drinking wine on behalf of Gary Saperstein has joined us. He drove all the way from Sonoma County.
I love your vodka.
Thank
He is-
you. I love your vodka.
Gary is the owner of Out in the Vineyard, an LGBTQ tour and event company located in Northern California, Sonoma wine country. Originally from New York, he made the move to Sonoma 24 years ago and has never looked back. Starting out in the restaurant business where hospitality has always been his forte, and he took very good care of us while we were waiting. He loves to create and give people an experience. In seeing the influx of LGBTQ tourism in wine country, a light bulb went off, and he thought, hey, no one's really catering to the gay community, and Castro was only 45 minutes away. Hence, Out at the Vineyard was founded 11 years ago with the Twilight Tea Dance, and with the success of the tea dance came Gay Wine Weekend, a celebration of food, wine, and wine country, and husband sharing for our LGBT community.
The best event you'll never remember.
Wait a minute.
Being
Wait a
in Sonoma.
minute. Catch me up on
Anything-
husband sharing.
I'm just teasing.
Oh, well,
That's the
we'll
after
catch
party.
Up on
I
that.
think he's referring to me, dear.
Ah!
I'm not saying anything, but it could refer to a few people here.
Wow.
Yeah.
My life's an open book. I don't
Wow,
care.
that was quite an introduction. I like it.
And you also have this love of Hollywood, of Hollywood in general, but you also have a love of classic Hollywood, which I definitely share.
Yes.
I kind of want to start with an open topic because we all do comedy in a certain way. You have a radio show.
Yes.
Obviously, Judy, two-time Grammy nominee.
The goddess.
You know a thing or two about comedy. Rusty, what I love about doing events with you in Palm Springs, and especially Hunters, you have such a quick wit that goes back to the old times of Hollywood. And Judy, I know you've spent time with Milton Berle, Phyllis Diller.
I wasn't born yet. Oh, no, I'm kidding.
He wasn't
dead yet.
I heard of them.
But you got to hang out with them, at
Yeah.
the start of your career.
Yeah.
And then from dealing with them, being on the road with George Carlin, you
Yes.
had such a taste of different forms of comedy, which I think your presentation encapsulates in such a great way. But Rusty, our comedy could be seen as a little mean, but you have such a great handle on dealing with like classic Hollywood styles of being blue without being explicit.
Yes.
But you
it's
also
that
have
double
your
entendre thin line like Rusty Warren and
Sophie Tucker.
and all those great ladies. Those are my icons.
But you also have your pulse on like what the kids are laughing about and like the quick words.
Yeah, well, and any one of us, we've all done kind of mean comedy or insult comedy. There's a way in delivering it.
I'm really good at it.
You can. My favorite way of saying it is, I want to say something so hateful to you that you could like smile at me, and then you go home and go, "Wait a minute."
Which I've done. I get back to the hotel room. I'm like, wait a minute. And you have to be very careful because you're also representing the Palm Springs Chamber of Commerce and the Walk of Fame. Even though you like to have a good time. No, but
He has to walk that fine line.
But it's
As long as you
also
don't do it on the radio,
Yeah.
you're fine.
Snapchat.
with our camera situation, who can? But there's also that you have to represent who you're representing, and you like to go out, and we can all be a little snarky because it's funny.
Oh, yeah.
But I want this to be an open question: is
Ooh, open question.
now with social climates changing, #MeToo movement, diversity, body positivity, all of this, should we be so careful with comedy in terms of being more PC? Why or why not?
In the words of the great, amazing, longtime legend, Bette Midler, fuck them if they can't take a joke.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I agree
I mean, you
100%
can't.
with
You're
you.
not. You're not. If you have to go on stage and edit yourself,
Right.
that you're not.
But then we have comics that could joke with things that we don't align ourselves to, such as, Kevin Hart said that his tweets towards bullying, towards the LGBT community,
right.
or somebody that calls a person of a different ethnicity names, it's all in the name of a joke.
But I think there's
Where's the
jokes
line
in
there?
good taste and there's jokes in bad taste.
But that's
And
a lot of times
they
it's
subjective.
changed with the times, because look at Eddie Murphy back in the day.
Right.
He was not.
He was
quite-
pretty offensive, especially towards the gays.
Yes.
At the time he
I
was
would
doing his
not think
big
of him
stand-up
as an
special.
ally.
I mean, I agree. The
But
thing
today
is,
it'd be Hollywood.
I agree with the whole thing. It's like, fuck them if they can't take a joke.
Right.
But we're living in different times right now.
And
Right.
the
We
reason
are
that they're
living in
funny
And if
different
jokes are
times right
inciting
now.
hate
Right.
against any community, should that be taken back,
Right.
even though we know it's a joke? And Judy, have you had to modify your jokes to fit what's happening socially and politically?
And have you ever gone too far and had to take it back?
I never.
No.
Have you ever done a Roseanne Barr?
Yeah, I have Tenuta. Yeah.
I love Roseanne.
I gave birth to 5 kids. Yeah, all
Rather
at once.
her be our Roseanne
Two of them
than the
lived.
real
That's pretty
Roseanne.
amazing, though. That impersonation
No,
is pretty
no.
amazing.
She did that without Ambien.
I know.
Are you kidding? If I took an Ambien, I would be out.
How awesome would it have been for the Connors for them to replace Roseanne with Judy Tenuta?
Yes.
That's
Oh my
kind of
God.
wild.
I
Yes.
would love to walk
Talk
out.
about the
Yes.
ultimate karma.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
That should be a skit
They
like on
was-
Saturday Night Live. It's like Connors is back for a new
Yes.
season and not say anything.
And then just bringing Judy Tenuta
Yeah.
wearing the chicken
And
shirt.
she pulls the accordion out of nowhere. I'm like, I learned the accordion in rehab.
Playing the theme song.
Just come up with a great idea.
No, there's been like 4 great ideas tonight. But this is one of the
I don't know, but we
best.
need to patent all of this.
This
It's
is
crap.
one of
all
the best.
trademark.
Yeah.
Judy, you have rubbed elbows with many, many different A-list celebrities in the comedy world as well as in the entertainment world.
Yes.
Do you still get starstruck at all?
Yes, I d- well, I did.
Oh, we need some more wine, Mr. Gary from
That's
out.
so cute.
Yeah.
Sure.
She's so cute.
Pizza, may I have another?
Is that good?
She's like,
Is that good?
More.
Stop trying to kill me, Judy Tenuta.
I know. She loves her wine.
Oh my God! By the time this is over, we are going to be so drunk. We're going to be
No.
We're all
trashed.
going back for a sleepover at Judy's house.
I know.
Oh,
We're gonna
wait.
play accordion.
Oh, is that what's
Till
happening?
dawn.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're gonna order a pizza finally.
Yeah.
Well, finally, where's the pizza?
We'll tell her. Oh God, I don't even know what country we're in. We're in Burbank. There's nowhere near any country.
That's a cemetery to get here.
I know. I was like,
I
like,
need
is there
my
a CVS
passport
here?
to get here.
Can we plug pizza?
And it's funny because you have gotten to hang out with these A-list comedians, especially like George Carlin.
Oh, yeah.
You developed a great relationship with Joan Rivers. She was the first
I
person
love
to
her.
put you on her show.
I love her.
We miss Joan.
So much.
But you got to establish these relationships, and of course, at your events. So, what stories stand out? What about A-list celebrities surprised you the most?
Well, I was fortunate to do this show it was a special called Night of 100 Stars. And this was all the way back in 1990. So my favorite thing was I'm there and Luther Vandross, who I love.
Girl.
I know. How much do we love that voice?
We love a little chocolate.
He's-
gorgeous.
I like chocolate with nuts even more.
I know, right? And
was
he's
Luther?
like,
Our apologies to Nestle, our sponsor that we just lost.
no. And he's like, girl,
was
he's
awful.
like, girl, I don't want to get on your bad side. And he's laughing, I go, you could never be on my bad side. What? Do you think I just go, no, this is just on the stage. I can't go around like when I go into Ralph's and say, hey, I'd like a pound of beef pig. I'm not going to get waited on. Unless
But at
of
the
course,
Home Goods.
yeah, at the Home Goods. Oh my God, those
yeah.
bitches.
Yeah, those. What'd you call them earlier? Those lesbian.
The lesbitarians.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, so I didn't.
Those-
they're
I'm
like-
sorry, the
hate email.
libertarians.
I will tell the lesbians can send a good email.
No, the libertarians.
I was like, I'm gonna let her hang herself with
send
that
a
one. I'm
good
not.
I know.
Yeah, no, I love. No, please.
And by good, I mean long.
We love the lesbitarians.
No, absolutely.
I always say I love when lesbians are at my show
No,
because you never
you
know when I'm gonna be
guys,
worked
you
on in my
miss-
car afterwards.
No,
Okay.
I said lesbians. It was just a lisp.
But I think some of the good things that have come from our current political climate, we don't have to talk politics, is that the lines between the LGBT community have kind of blurred. There used to be twinks versus the older crowd, bears versus everybody.
Bears for
That still happens on
Yeah,
Grindr.
now
I'm just
they,
saying.
now they
That's
have
something
their own
different.
app.
And we
Right,
actually had
right.
a conversation on the show. On Grindr, it's okay to say what you're into. You
Well,
either
naturally.
are into something or you're not. It doesn't mean you're
Like
racist.
that's become
Can
a
I
big
go on
deal on
Yeah,
Grindr.
exactly.
though.
I
You
told
would
her
get more dates
no.
than me
I told her
on
we're
Grindr.
gonna take
That
her to one
has
of the clothing
become
optional
a
resorts
But
out there. She wants to
Alexander-
go.
And didn't
I'm
they
gonna have to
start
s-
kinder?
Yeah, well, it's
because of
gone
the
a little
whole
bit.
thing, because people were saying they didn't like the fact that they said no Asians, no,
No
fats,
Asians
no
or
femmes,
HIV
no
or
HIV,
this or that, yeah.
and so like.
So-
But you're attracted to what you're attracted to. You can't help that.
and right, I mean.
But with
Yeah,
the-
I
but-
think there's nothing wrong with it. You're saying what you like.
But the
It's
gays and
how you
lesbians are
say
now
it.
getting along
It's
But it
how
together.
you
creates a
say it.
culture that makes
Thank you,
that
Trump.
sort of
We're
thing
now getting along.
acceptable, where you're just
Articulate.
denying people just because of their race. That's what really was happening.
Right.
You're
That's
not
what- that's how
denying
people are
them as a
taking it.
race, but you're just denying
But
what
you're-
you're
Well, if people are
into.
writing no Asians.
Yeah, there no
And you-
Asians
and I
need to
think-
apply.
But if
I
you're not-
completely get where you're coming from. I'm not disagreeing with you. I think that it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, if a few
We're not
people
having a
did-
tea party.
No,
We're-
So if
if
somebody that
if a few
We're
people
sleeping with men.
No,
Like,
if a few people were posting that, I don't think anybody would care. When you start feeling like,
It's-
as an Asian
yeah.
person, which I'm not, but if I was to get on Grindr as an Asian person and see
It's-
everybody
yeah.
had that on their profile, well, screw my
Exactly.
life. I'm not
And
wanted
you know
by
what?
anybody.
And you know what?
like
If you're not
then you
attracted
start
to
feeling
it-
targeted.
That's
I mean,
not
but
Grindr.
it's how you say it, though.
Right, it's not
because
meant to be a
because
political
the thing
platform.
is,
But Grindr,
everybody has
wait
their
a minute though. But
types.
Grindr is very explicit what you want. When you order a pizza, you want what you want on your
Right.
pizza. Are you saying,
you're
am
gonna
I
keep
being?
But
bringing the
pizza and
pizza.
people.
Oh, sorry.
Are we equating
No fats, no
pizza to
femmes, no
pizza?
I'm just saying
anchovies.
because you don't like sausage.
Why is that
Yeah.
different?
Well, I've cut out the
But-
sausage.
What do you want on your pizza?
You know, I'm.
I'll take anything now.
Okay.
anything, even anchovies, which I hate.
Yeah.
But isn't that kind of like you're ordering what you want on your pizza? You're not being mean to mushrooms.
Well,
Well, the thing is,
Right.
you're not ordering something. You're
Exactly.
not paying for them.
Yes, you actually are on Grindr. You're ordering exactly what you want
one
in the
is for
bedroom.
sustenance, and the other is for socializing
Oh,
and
girl,
sex.
No, it's
that's
not
they're all
for
for sex.
socializing.
Yeah.
It's for sex.
You know.
Gary, we are enjoying a wine that you have brought.
Yes.
And Gay Wine Weekend, we know. And I would tell you, hundreds of people from all around the U.S. come to Gay Wine Weekend.
Yes, they
because
do.
When is it? When
you
is it?
have to come.
When is it?
Anywhere.
Judy's been.
monitors.
It's
Yes,
coming.
I
It's
was
June 18th, 19th, 20th, and 21st. July.
Oh my God.
19th,
Oh, I was gonna
July.
say.
18th, 19th,
Yeah.
20th, and 21st.
Like, that's this weekend, bitch. What are you doing?
I
here?
know. I was gonna be like, what are
Today.
you doing here?
That's
So it's coming up, and the reason why I brought Chateau, here's my shameless plug.
Yeah, there you go.
Chateau Saint Jean wine is because Chateau Saint Jean.
Saint
for
Jean.
all
I've been
you
saying
out
Saint
there-
Jean on every week.
You know, Chateau Saint Jean, but Chateau Saint Jean actually is our main sponsor for Gay Wine Weekend. They donate their amazing winery to host the Twilight Tea Dance. This is their fourth year
I
hosting
like
the
it.
Twilight Tea Dance.
I feel bad
I
for
love
the
it.
maids the next day.
And
Yeah.
it's pretty, I mean, it is, if you have a chance, go to their website, chateaustjean.com, or go to gaywineweekend.com, my website, and you can see the pictures from the tea dance last year. It's a fabulous place. You're literally dancing around the vineyards and rolling hills in this iconic
And it's
winery.
And they're
Twilight.
giving us a great room while we're there. Isn't that fabulous?
Thank
Come on,
you.
you're all coming.
Yes.
Well, I'm the MC for the drag brunch.
That's right.
The drag brunch?
The drag brunch this
Right.
year, the first time ever drag
I
brunch
love
on
the brunch.
Sunday. And this is also, it's a wine auction also where we raise
should've
money
been
for
booked for
Face to
this.
Face, our Sonoma
Sure.
County.
Truth every time because I have nothing to hide.
But I'm really glad you said that because there's some wine snobs out there. And it's like, oh, well,
Yes.
it has to be from this era or this. If you like it, then you like it.
Exactly. It's
Yes.
so I say that to people all the time. It comes down to what you like when it comes
It's like
to
French
wine.
fries. There's no bad French fry, really. You can't-
That is
They're
actually
soggy
true.
But
ones.
no, I
Well, the
wouldn't say it
soggy
if it weren't
ones,
That's
fries.
still a
like
French
soggy
fry.
French
Soggy
fries.
ones.
Steak fries, I'm not a fan of. It's like, you want me to
Yeah,
work all
I-
that for a
Steak
fry?
fries.
Yeah,
Oh.
I like the crispy.
Yes.
I do like when they're crispy on the outside
What
and
happened
moist
to
on
our
the...
pizza? Oh, sorry.
No, we moved on to fries.
I think like we're gonna find the
We're
closest
back
pizza
to
place
pizza.
after this. I promise. Judy, you did a show, HBO, Women of the Night. These were your co-stars: Ellen DeGeneres,
Yes.
Paula Poundstone,
Yes.
and Rita
I
Redder.
love Paula
Rita's actually
Poundstone.
done the show.
Oh, has she?
Everything worked,
Okay.
like the cameras and and
And
sound.
the sound effects.
Yeah, they didn't have the
course.
problems.
Yeah.
So we had to
I
match.
thought you meant like, yeah, her mouth worked. I didn't know what you meant.
But what an interesting night that must have been
Oh,
backstage,
it was so much fun.
because you have two lesbian comics that are in the closet.
was very friendly to me.
I wonder why.
Boys and girls love you.
The whip?
Boys and girls love you.
Oh, you know, I love
Yep.
I love
I
him.
would say the-
I love
yeah,
him. I love
that's
him. I
right.
love him. I love him.
The
Yeah, she was very friendly.
Lesbitarians.
Yes, she was very friendly. And no,
love
and
Paula Poundstone.
but we were also
She's
we
great.
were
I interviewed
also
Do you listen to her on prayer?
all a
She's
little
great.
nervous because we had to go on and we knew we were going to
was
be on TV. So.
HBO.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
we were ready for it, so it was great. Yeah, no, it was the best. It was a lot of fun.
How long ago
Wasn't-
was that?
I wasn't born yet.
So wasn't
It was
HBO
1987.
1987.
Oh my God,
So-
1987.
July.
and
It was.
HBO
What
was
were you,
offering
5?
something that you just never had before, right?
Right,
You
right,
could
they
just-
Well, a lot
never-
of
yeah.
them were just really getting big in
And
their
you
Yeah.
could
field.
say, do anything you want. You never had to worry about your advertisers.
But here's the interesting thing: is none of us were really, like filthy or anything.
Right.
Not
No.
that that's
No.
a bad thing. Because,
Right,
you
right,
know,
not at all. Not at all.
I'll be honest. I get really turned off when it's super graphic because
Right.
there's no need for that. As comedians before us, like your act, like what we talked about with your humor, you've proven that you don't have to do that.
It's not
And
witty.
To make your audience think instead of just
Yeah.
giving it to
Right.
them. I'm so sick of Trump jokes because they're so easy. I'm so sick of I'm gay
Vulgar
or
for
I'm
the
fat
sake of
jokes because it's
vulgar.
so easy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But what about malaria? Don't you love?
I love you guys. You guys have to go on Instagram to
You
Judy
have to
Tenuta.
see this.
Malaria
I love-
Mondays.
Yes, that's right. I do malaria Monday. This week, of course, husband was. What was he doing?
2020.
Sarah
What?
Sanders. Oh yeah.
That's right.
Yes, Sarah
We
Sanders.
had Sarah Huck the Beast Slanders.
Sarah Huckabee.
she quit her job, so now I am the new press secretary.
Oh, how
I am. Yes, I am the assistant.
I would actually like to see that, by the way. All she would do is come out, she'd be like, we're not taking questions at this time, thank you.
Yes.
And then we'll
right
walk
now,
out.
I'm too busy picking out my blue and orange Christmas trees.
That looked like a scene out of The Shining, by the way.
I totally did.
I loved it.
Where did you? I mean, that jacket too. I don't really care. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
my
What
God.
was that
I
all
Where did that
about?
come
To a
from?
relief
I don't.
event.
She was, she did an interview with one of those guys from 60 Minutes, and she's not real good at covering her tracks.
She's well rehearsed, but if you go off script, she has no clue what you're going to do.
No.
Yeah.
So she was like, No, I just meant that I don't really care. Other people make fun of me. No, that's not what you meant, whore.
Yeah.
And
literally.
timing.
We don't get political on the show. We love our conservative listeners.
True, but
Judy, I want to know.
I don't think they're listening to this show.
Not tonight.
Not
I
tonight.
love that
Well,
you
'cause I went
think
to bed.
Because
I
you know
was
what?
sorry.
Mud will be flung.
I
They
love
took their
that.
Metamucil and went to bed.
And just real fast, I have to tell our listeners and viewers we started late, not anything to do with Kurt, because Kurt, we love Kurt. And
We
he's
love
an
Kurt!
engineer. He literally saved our tuchluses tonight.
Kurt was the first
Because
one
Jeff
here.
was late getting his makeup done.
He was eating Doritos in the car. He was closet eating Doritos again.
No.
I do like the Doritos.
Oh, you
know,
do?
I do.
I like them
We
too.
like Doritos.
I got Doritos yesterday from
But
my
I like
friend.
You know what I like
Pizza
better?
better.
Pizza.
I like Doritos too.
Cool Ranch.
I like to
Now I
put
feel like we're
Doritos
on
in a
NPR.
sandwich. It's the weirdest thing.
Oh, I
Yeah,
love
I
them.
like a good
That's what I
Dorito.
put on
And
my
goldfish?
hamburger.
Crunchy.
You
Yeah.
have goldfish in there. You put them in a peanut butter
They're
and jelly sandwich.
I
They're
put
so
goldfish on ice cream. I
See,
don't
now
know.
Judy and I were
You guys
talking
can
earlier,
exchange
though.
grinder profiles later.
We were gonna sit here and we wanted to get all the good
give you
dishy
my
dirt out of the way too, not
Yeah.
just factual stuff.
I want to hear dish dirt.
Dish shirt?
About
dish?
who?
About her. We're gonna ask her
Dish
some
or
good
dirt?
Do
dishy
I have
questions.
dish dirt?
No,
Good
Dish?
dishy questions.
Okay, but I
Judy-
don't have anything to.
but I want to know, and I actually got this email from a fellow comedian.
Uh-oh.
I need more
How
wine.
does
I need
Judy
more wine.
Tenuta, who we see on screen, on stage, differ the most from Judy Tenuta at home?
It's like, okay, I'm sorry. Am I embarrassed to say this? I don't know. At home, if I don't have other people around, I get lost in, I have to work on this painting now. It's
interesting.
like, yeah, it's not fun.
So is that
I have to have
Quiet,
other-
kind of introverted.
Yeah, no, but I do talk to myself. Yeah, because I have to rehearse.
Your
Your
best
fans would
audience.
pay just to like.
But
say,
you
like,
have
'cause
other
I'm sure it's
creative outlets that we don't know about.
Well,
I heard you
paint.
just say you paint.
I
Yeah.
paint.
I
Yes,
know.
I have. I wish I had my pictures with me. But I call my house now a museum because you walk down the hall and I have all these things that
You
I
should
have.
paint an
paintings.
accordion. Honestly, that would be interesting.
Don't
How
even that
do-
for some big
how
charity
you
thing.
see
That'd be
in a
amazing.
how
You should
Judy
paint Melania
Tenuta's-
Trump the way that you see her.
Oh my God, malaria.
It would probably be better than the real thing.
With blue
Yeah.
and orange Christmas trees behind her.
Judy,
Yeah.
Joey Maynard
Death of
once
Christmas.
says for Judy, tell the story of how you met, because you have drag queens that do you.
Oh, I do? Okay.
Oh.
Do you remember Joey
Every night?
Maynard?
Yes, of course. Oh my God.
He says, tell her the story.
No,
and
I
Eddie
was-
Ray says, hi, Gary.
Hi, Eddie.
Hi, Eddie.
We love Eddie.
Okay, but yeah, I was. This was back in 1990, and I was coming here to LA for whatever. And my friend says to me, "I'm taking you to a drag club," and I'm sorry, I can't remember exactly where it was, but it was a little bit out of town, a little bit. And
That's where they used to have to be, by the way.
oh yeah. So they I know, because the guy says my friend is gonna like wet himself because he does you. I go, somebody does me? Somebody imitates me? He goes, yeah. So there's this guy out on stage doing my I have a song called I Like Boys Who Wear My Clothes and Live With Their Mothers and Paint Their Toes, So
that's half of West Hollywood, so.
yeah. So I basically,
Only
that's
'cause they
the
can't
kind.
afford the rent.
That's the kind of guys I like. So anyway, so we go to this club and there's this guy and he's got at that time I had black hair. I had
Your hair's gone through many different colors. Yeah.
Yes, I had black hair because I loved Elvis, so I thought that I
And you
needed...
got to play Elvis in one of your...
yes, I was obsessed with Elvis at that time.
You do
I
his
still
voice
love
really,
him.
really well. Judy,
Oh,
What
pretty mama,
changed with Elvis?
pretty
then?
mama, well...
yeah.
Yeah, no, but here's the problem. Then I go into Cher because if I could turn back time.
That's how she sounds without autotune. No.
And and then there's a little bit of, you start to do Elvis, and then I have to go into
And then you're
Cher.
right into Cher.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm going to put a Judy Tenuta number together for when you're out in Palm Springs to get your
Oh, my
star.
God,
my
yes.
God.
Can I play the accordion?
Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
God!
I just sit there and do this.
love it. I love it.
Yes,
I love it.
absolutely.
I just think it's so funny. Anyway, there was this guy. So anyway, this guy is doing something for my album. He's lip syncing one of my songs and also a little of the stand up. So then I stand up and I walk toward him and he's like, so
Maybe hunters could
was-
have a lip sync contest.
it was very sweet.
Right?
Just focus on
It was very sweet. Yeah, it was very nice. And
Imitation is the best form of flattery.
Kurt,
Oh, it is.
can you happen to pull
It's
her
adorable.
YouTube?
It's ador. As they say now, it was adorbs.
Totes
Adorbs.
That sounds like Michael.
But you have
Michael
to
Malfoy.
text
the
it.
sound still up.
Totes adorbs.
I want to talk about the change in the LGBT community. Gary, you have done events for quite a few number of years with the LGBT community. How has the community changed the most? Because with our climate of like faster social media, you have to catch my attention like this. You need to have all these people at your events. How has that made you change how you deal with hospitality? Because hospitality is different than promoting and producing an event.
Right, absolutely. They're two totally separate things. But I do think that, what I try and do with my Out in the Vineyard events, it's really about bringing people together and bringing the community to get together, where actually people are not on their phones so much. People are really meeting each other and spending time with each other. They become really social events. And I love that.
I love that. A social event instead of a social media
right,
event.
instead of a social media. I mean, they are taking. I mean, everyone's taking the pictures and doing the selfies and all that stuff, and that's fine.
okay.
That's fine.
I
because
did notice that from your pictures, by the
That's
way.
creating memories for everybody.
Right.
Right. That's creating memories that people have when you can see all those pictures. So there's nothing wrong with that. And so I think it's amazing that we can do that these days, and they're instantaneous. It's right then and there for you. Share it with everybody right then and there. But really, and you'll see when you're out there, the event is so social. I really
But you do
find
notice that from all the pictures, it's people hanging out the way that people used to do, making lifetime friends that they say,
Right.
okay, see you next year.
And
come
that's
back
what
and come
happens.
back.
Right.
People meet people. We've had people get engaged at the Twilight Tea Dance. That happened 2 years ago. It's
And I
fabulous.
know you're registered to do same-sex weddings.
Oh yeah, I
Exactly.
know. I did a few here.
Yeah, and we've had people meet each other who are now dating that I know of. We've had people who just meet each other and spend the night together. That's fine too.
That's the
Anything goes.
husband sharing. Yeah, that's
Or an hour.
For an hour.
There you
hour.
go.
You keep saying this hour. What is this magical hour? I'm like,
years,
Or
1
perhaps
hour.
out in the vineyard.
You
I'll be
have
like,
love, you
the
have
next
love.
show starts at half hour. But Rusty, I want to tie this into you because you also promote and produce events that speak to the LGBT community, but it's a whole different climate because you're literally responding to tourists. I know you have a lot of tourists,
Yeah.
but you're also responding to the public that lives
Right,
there,
right.
and they're seeing the show week after week because you do a myriad of shows.
Yeah.
That are all different. You do Drag
Well,
You
and
to
Palm
Brunch.
Springs is kind of a unique animal because you do have the locals that are there and they come and support on a regular basis. We love them. And then you've also got this huge influx of people that are there different from week to week with all of the tourists that come into town. So you kind of have to walk that line of appeasing both sides.
Right.
Which is just about trying to be the most entertaining show that you can possibly be. And I mean, just like you've got listeners that listen to you every single week, and you've got people that tune in for the first time every single week. So, I mean, it's kind of the same thing. You just want to give the best show you can give, and hopefully people like it, and they like what you do.
I always say when it comes to events, one thing about it is, I can do what I can do. I can create the event, create the space, but in the end, though, it's the people who make the event.
Absolutely.
In the end, that vibe that comes out, I can't make that. I can't make the vibe. It's you that come to the event.
No matter how much money
that
you throw at
create it.
something, to create an
Exactly.
event doesn't
just
create an
never-
event.
Exactly.
It's the reaction from the people that are there.
Exactly.
And you know what's
great flowers work. Great
true.
flowers.
Especially in
People
your
love
hair.
flowers.
Yes. But I think Hollywood is experiencing that too because they're throwing so much money at these huge Hollywood movies that are failing.
Yes.
Movie after
Over
movie
and
after
over.
movie is failing.
They're
And then we
all-
get a movie like The Green Book. It's like,
Oh,
hey, we're
I
all
love
going to love this film.
Love, love, love,
Right,
love,
right,
love,
right.
love, love.
It's about doing something different and just
Well-
doing something well.
But it's also about that there is a real relationship.
Right.
In
Right.
these movies now, you have to remember the movie industry is targeted toward 8 to 18-year-olds.
Right.
This is who the biggest
Market
audience.
share is.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so that's why
That's
they
actually a
love
really good point.
they love Marvel.
I never knew there were so many Marvel comics.
I know.
It's like
I
there's
like-
another
yeah,
every
I like-
week. There's
But all
another
the
one.
movies are
I think
failing
that,
lately.
are they
and
just
it's-
making them up? I mean,
That's what I think.
That was the thing that really kind of surprised me, and it turned out to be a smart thing on their behalf. But they started out with like random one-off characters that
Yeah.
nobody,
I'm like-
except the really hardcore fans,
Right.
even knew who they were.
Right.
Yes.
And
yeah.
then built up to their big names
Right.
instead of starting with the big
Yeah.
names and branching out from there. It worked for them, but I wouldn't
Yeah.
have expected.
I'm
it
still
to.
waiting for the brown armadillo. You know they had Black Panther. I want brown armadillo so I can finally play.
Her name is Anita Rose, and you can see her at my show in Palm Springs.
Armadillo.
All right,
You
so
sure
Kurt,
Steven Spielberg didn't cast you in West Side Story?
no, he's only casting cute white kids in West Side Story.
She's playing Maria.
Oh.
Anyway, we do like so we're gonna break up the show just a little bit. We usually have a sound cue that's so fabulous, but we're gonna
We
do
couldn't even do it.
rapid fire. We're gonna do rapid fire, and so the fastest that you can think of, and we're gonna start
Oh
different.
no, I'm scared.
It's a game.
I don't know what's going on.
You have to have relations with a celebrity who has passed. Who is it, Gary?
Oh my god. Oh my god, I don't even know who would I celebrity that passed. I'm gonna say oh my god, Jimmy Stewart.
Wow.
I don't know
I
why I
would
said
never
that.
guess that. Jeff.
The same question? Well, I thought
Yes, I
it was
love
River
Jimmy Stewart.
Phoenix.
Somebody who
River
has
Phoenix.
passed.
Phoenix. So that's
Someone who's passed. Well, that's
River
easy for me.
Phoenix.
Yeah.
Elvis.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Or Joan Rivers. Can I do either one?
That's
Right?
good.
Fun,
Yeah.
Does it have to be like in their prime or like when they died?
No, no,
or
it's
Elvis in Vegas?
it's pretty-
or
I
not?
don't know.
Yeah.
Elvis. Is, that was pretty good.
Circa Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, Burt Reynolds.
Oh yeah. God
it's
rest his soul.
Just so I could be that much more Miss Mona.
Nothing too high class.
Right? Exactly.
Describe your ex using a movie title. Rusty.
Oh shoot! I
Dead to me?
Go. This is why this. Yeah.
Mine's
don't know.
Gone with the Wind.
Get a gas problem. Okay.
Jeffrey, because I dated two guys named Jeff. And that's,
I could never. So I dated somebody with my same last name. Couldn't work. It was just too weird.
No.
It was too weird. It was like, oh, you guys brothers?
Deliverance.
It's better than mine. Everybody asks if he's my kid.
Yeah, that's right.
Grand. Just grand.
Well,
The Shining.
Jack Nicholson?
because twins?
Or the baby twins.
I'm describing my ex.
Yeah.
He was
Oh,
like a horror film.
Oh, yeah.
The Shining.
Ooh, that's
Jack.
That's pretty
a-
scary.
That's a little dark, Judy.
No.
No, I just say worst gift you ever received in your life that you're just like, oh God, from a fan,
Worst
from.
gift.
I could think
I
of
have so
like,
many fans.
I haven't received anything from my fans.
I feel so like.
or from a friend, or from an ex. You're like, you got me that. I'll give you an example. My ex was with his new
That's
boyfriend.
why he's the ex.
No, it wasn't for me. He was with his new guy. And what year's the paper? I think it was like year
10.
3.
Oh, no, first year's paper.
Oh, so it was first year.
First year's paper.
So this poor guy that was so in love with my ex handed over 2 plane tickets to France. my ex put a paperback book and said, oh, this is a good book. This is paper.
Oh no. That relationship is over. But when you think
That's a
about
bad
it,
gift.
but wait, when you think about it, those tickets were made of paper. So
No, that's what I'm saying. But that's like the discordant of that. So worst gift.
I feel like I want to have the real answer and then the Hollywood Squares answer for each one of these
No,
questions.
Have the real answer.
what is the worst gift? I don't
worst
know.
gift.
I love all my gifts. I get flowers
Gift's a
and
gift.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
there's
but
always
what
that
was the
was
gift you
like,
were?
Oh,
You
no
opened
one
it
gives
and you're
And then
like,
you
what the
re-gift.
f- is this?
oh
Gifts
yeah.
that you can
It's
re-gift.
someone else's
Yeah,
gift.
but I can't. I block. You know,
Well,
here's
like
the
my
problem. I block it out. I block it out. I can't remember.
I think anything from like the Body Shop. Those are gifts. I always say it's gifts like that.
They're
are gifts-
regifted.
No,
If it's from the body shop, just know it's
either
regifted.
or it's they got you the gift because they didn't know what to get you.
Yeah, no one should
Oh,
buy
just get them some
somebody.
body lotion.
Nobody should buy somebody a bath sponge. That's just
Oh,
My Hollywood Squares answer would be an STD because nobody wants one of those.
Thank you.
that is
Pauline.
Thank you, Pauline.
but wait a minute. That's a gift.
That keeps on giving.
well, it's a gift. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
No, it's not a real answer. That's the Hollywood Squares answer.
Yeah.
Real answer, I had
That's so
somebody,
good.
best of intentions, bless her heart, gave me one of those cheap, like 99-cent store makeup palettes because, you know, I do drag, so I'm going to want makeup as a gift.
Oh, my
yeah,
God.
if it's good makeup. Thanks, sweetheart.
Yeah. Oh my God. She gives you a
I
palette
don't wear the
from.
crap.
From the dollar store.
Right, right.
You can't do it.
That's kind of weird though, because I went to my first like Hollywood party when I first started doing the show, and so I went to a party and I didn't know that it would be catered and they'd have their own open bar with like
So you brought
actual.
Taco Bell?
I literally bought a bottle of wine and I didn't know, but what I could afford at the time was like a $15 bottle of wine. So I walked in, and it was so sad because he's like, "Oh, we'll put it there." And there's this whole bar with like an ice like tequila slide and like.
Well,
Oh,
you know,
God.
it's never bad to apologize for having good manners.
Yes.
Exactly. Thank you,
That's
Emily
a really
Post.
good point.
Better to
Yeah,
have had them
it's
and not needed them than the other way around.
That's very good.
Judy, I want to talk about because we did have a number of questions from comedians.
We did?
Oh,
Yes,
Comedians?
because you inspire.
Why would comedians want to ask me a question?
yeah. They want to learn from the goddess.
Oh,
Right.
I never got that impression. But anyway, go ahead.
You are making a name for yourself in the female comedy, even though something you were doing was so different than what the other female comedians were doing.
Yeah.
The men, like touring with George Carlin, you know, George Carlin was a little rough around the edges.
No, but no. But here's the thing about George Carlin is actually we both have similar backgrounds. He grew up in a Catholic kind of strict family, and
did
so
as
did
well?
I. And so did I. And so we're in the back seat of the limo. The other thing that we both loved is doing voices. I love doing
He
voices.
pissed off his manager.
So he'd be like. Yeah, you know what was it? He would always be say Jude, because he would always say Dan, and we'd be talking like that, and then his manager, just before we're about to go on stage, his manager tries to kick us out of the limo because we're driving him nuts. But anyway, no, he was a lot of really fun.
And he was, I mean, even the things that he talked about on stage are still relevant today. I mean, he was
He was
really good,
very,
he was very
like I said,
observant
raw.
in his comedy. He was prolific in that way.
Yeah, but he loved to analyze the language. If you notice, he would always he that's what he did a lot of. Like there's no what was what do they call it? They call it jumbo shrimp. That's
Oxymoron.
Yes,
you
yes.
can really pick apart a statement or a phrase.
Yeah. So I love that. I love all that, and he is the major. I would say the major influence of modern day comedy. Although I really loved Steve Martin. And when I started, Steve Martin
remind me of Steve Martin a lot, by the way.
on stage. I mean, I'm sorry, I couldn't stand it. I just thought he was. No. But then don't forget. Of course, I also love Joan Rivers. I love a lot of people. So
But did
What
you,
can I
As well
say?
you should.
I'm a comedy whore.
Well, there you go.
but the women
I'm just
versus
a whore.
men. I know when you first started, like comedy clubs weren't paying you the same as men, and you're like, well, this is my career.
Wait, you get paid?
How do you work that out?
Nobody got paid for this show. But when we're talking about like the Me
We're
Too
not-
movement
I'm
and
out of
people
here.
are really coming out about their experiences of women, you made such an indelible mark.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Am I wrong, guys? I mean,
absolutely.
come on.
Oh my
But
God!
that's
Yes,
the
I
brilliance
remember
of,
watching
like,
you, loving it. Oh my God, it was so much
Because you were empowering
fun.
women at the same time as like putting men like, men, we don't need you. We're like
But-
these funny women.
Yes, I think the reason I got away with it is because I when I started, I looked a little innocent, But then I'm like, yeah, you pig. You know, it's like I looked kind of like an angel, but I'm talking like a
Exactly.
trucker.
Well, you
know?
look like an angel, and you had a certain sweetness about it, even when
Yes.
you were being
Oh,
rude. You know.
Thank you.
And then you
yes.
had those hot guys carrying you out.
Oh
and,
my
and I
God.
was like, wow.
Okay,
That
how about
helps.
that?
Yeah.
How were you perceived when you first walked out on stage doing what you do? I mean, was it because it was so different than anything that anybody else
See,
was
but to
doing?
me, it wasn't different because I was used to doing it. But anyway,
Did people
how was I perceived? Oh, I see what you mean. You mean like
yeah.
if outside of the special and I just go and do a show?
Yeah.
You know, honestly, yeah, I would go out, and it depends on the town. But I remember going to a place like. Did I even? Is there such a thing as Kankakee? I don't know.
Yeah,
And
Schenectady.
yeah, Schenectady.
Oh, there's
Yeah,
that.
and at first, yeah, I get. Oh, I know. I did a show up in Canada where I
You
got,
got heckled, right?
I did. I got heckled by a guy.
I know you.
Yeah, I got.
In Canada, you guys.
Ooh.
I got
Of all
heckled.
places.
I know.
And but you see, when I'm on stage, when I'm on stage, you know, I have no fear.
Right.
You know, once I'm the
That adrenaline
goddess,
hit.
I have no fear.
Yeah.
So I don't care. This guy was like a big mother trucking lumberjack, and he was like, yeah, I know. But
have our attention.
But you have to remember, you know, I'm standing there like this, and he's coming up, and I go, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and he just lifted me up, but I was a little scared.
Oh, he actually
But
lifted you.
Oh, he
Physically
actually
Very scary.
just lifted me
Wow.
up, and I
That's all they
said,
handled.
and I go, put me back on my throne,
Atta girl.
bitch. Yeah.
That's the thing I think a lot of people identified with you on and loved about you, though, is that you could sense that fearlessness.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
You know,
Oh.
it
look
came
like
through.
you-
But in real life, I'm scared of it. You know, like I you know, I won't.
But
I
you're not
won't-
on stage.
I know, but I won't go into the ocean because I'm afraid of getting my leg bit off.
Well,
or
hey,
that's
never swim in
great.
somebody else's food dish.
there is. Even I'm too big for that. Yeah.
Well, it's not even. I mean, it's yeah.
Chris Hall says hi to Alexander and Rusty.
Bye!
Hi, girl.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know what's
He's
going
just
on.
responding to people messaging in
Yeah.
with,
Oh,
with comments
how
and
sweet.
whatnot. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Now,
Anyway.
was there, because we had talked about that night with the other comedians, is
Oh,
there
yeah.
any, like, was there any fierce competition when you first hit the scene with other female comics? Because we know LGBT promoters, we could be a little mean to each other.
Oh, yeah.
Drag queens
Oh.
can tear each other down because
yeah.
they're like,
Really?
let me get the gig, let me get the gig. Even
that's
though
exactly
we're
what it
so
is, too.
different than everybody else. Here's the
Yeah.
thing, there's
there's
a
room
genre
for all.
everybody.
Yep.
Yep. And you always are very supportive of queens that are coming up.
Yeah.
What kind of competition was there having at the time? Because it wasn't like they were focusing on a lot of female comics.
Was it comic on comic competitive, or was it?
Well, you know, when I came up, there weren't as many female comics,
Right.
you know, so
Yeah.
it was more. But I think now I feel for these comics now because there's a million of them,
Yeah.
you know. So and if you can get noticed, good for
Right.
you.
And I don't. Almost today, the comics don't really stand out because there are so many, but they don't really do something as original as you have done.
Oh,
But I
boy.
mean, but
Yeah,
that's
there's not that
true.
performance
I don't
level.
know.
Well,
Right.
and that was something, I told you how I've
Yeah.
been listening to a lot of Judy stuff
Oh, no.
recently.
Yeah, Greg.
Yeah. And it was a conversation you'd had on an interview before, and you were talking about how many of the comics these days are not character driven, whereas at that time,
Oh yes.
each person
I
had a
came up
distinct
with
Well,
character and
yes,
personality.
Exactly.
like Sam Kinison.
Andy
you know-
Kaufman. That was
Oh,
a
oh.
perfect.
That made you
yeah.
all
He was
stand
a
out
little
from each
before
other.
me, but yeah.
Mhm.
Stephen Wright, you know, yeah.
And now I think everybody just kind of is
But
conversational.
I want to tell you, something though. This is what people don't realize. Even they might call Jay Leno a straight stand-up, but he
Doritos.
he speaks differently. He
In a
doesn't-
conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's not. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't do his voice, but
But
that's
yeah,
one-
his voice that you hear on
But
TV
you know
is
what I
not
mean?
his voice at home.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is he amps up and becomes a
Right.
character. It's not as, ostentatious as mine, but
Well, I think we all do. I don't know. Like, we've hung out and
Oh,
you're
yeah. Oh, yeah.
toned down
I've
some
seen you
from in
at the
front of an
tool shed.
audience.
Yeah, because there's like an
That's
energy
right.
level, and
Yeah.
plus,
Of course,
yeah.
there's a different
That is
energy
expected.
when you're when you're out
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
public eye, when you're
Right.
out there doing things. You're
So-
out and open, and
Even-
when you're private, you're
You
Just
know,
like at,
and we
at
have our
your events, I'm
downtime.
sure that you are 100 times more than what you are.
like you don't have to be
even now,
nice
like
to
all
everybody
of us.
because you're nice to everybody.
but you
I'm
are.
always nice to everybody.
Yes.
Oh yes, he's a giver. No, that's
No,
that's
he's a
you.
receiver.
That's right.
I
I'm
did
the
hear
giver.
that.
Yeah,
did
I
hear
heard that. I heard that. Okay, I get
I will
that.
neither confirm nor deny.
Your pants did it for you.
Oh my God!
Touche, I
Do
love
tell,
it.
do
I like
tell.
I can spot a bottom at 30 paces.
That's not fair though, because people assume I do something. I'm a blouse. I'm a feminine top. Thank you.
You're a feminine top.
Yes. Oh, she's surprised.
Just
She's
because
everything.
you're on top doesn't mean you are a top, darling.
I thought you were joking.
I don't even put that effort. I'm like,
Oh my!
This is true. This is true.
There's something called denial and delusion. But
Judy, what is the comedy industry doing right now? What are they doing wrong?
How would I know about it? What are they doing wrong? I don't know.
Not
There's
hiring
a-
you enough.
Yeah, well,
what they're doing wrong.
that would be one thing, but I don't. I just think that everything is presented in a talent contest. So it's
Yes.
you know
yeah.
like
it's like
I
American
think
Idol for comics.
American Idol. Well, yeah, but
that's
they
our
even
culture.
have
It's like-
comics on there, and it's
Yeah.
like, what is? Come on.
Right.
And that's,
But that's what we're doing, like on our phones when we're watching videos. When we get when we
Yes.
get video shared, we can only see 30 seconds, and then an ad's going to come on. We have to decide in 30 seconds whether we want to finish watching what
Right.
we're experiencing.
Continue watching it.
You better do this real fast.
Yeah.
And that's the society we live in.
But
right?
it's
Everything's
awful.
like this.
Tension span of
But
a
then
fruit
we're
fly.
still going to watch a 3-hour Avenger film, which I don't understand.
Oh, I can't do it.
But we won't
I
watch
just
an hour
can't.
and 20-minute independent film. I don't understand this.
Well,
new
I do.
diet
I
thing.
watch those. I love. I just saw a great film called Late Night with.
Oh no.
Oh,
Yes.
I want to see that.
Everybody
It's
keeps
good.
talking about
Really
it.
good.
Surprisingly, I did not want to go see it, and when I go, this is funny. No, it was really good. Yes.
Yeah, it looks really funny.
Yeah.
Who's
it
being
was.
funny in today's age?
Oh, who's being? Why are you asking this?
Because you are the
Well,
resident
but-
expert.
Either way.
No, you have to remember. I may think somebody's funny who's not a comedian. You
Exactly.
know.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Like,
Yeah.
like a
comedian
lot of times,
is-
I don't know. I mean,
Who's cracking you up lately?
Thank you.
Yeah,
Who's
that- yeah.
cracking me up?
Your hairdo is cracking me up right now.
Ooh.
girl.
Okay.
It's a hair don't, but thank you.
Is it Melania?
I love malaria.
It's malaria.
She inspires me. I am so funny.
What do you think of Randy Rainbow making fun of that whole
Wait a
Trump?
minute.
He's kind of
It's a musical parody
Yeah.
He does a
comedian.
lot
I'm
of-
so
He's
sorry.
done the
I
show,
don't know
too.
who that is.
Oh.
sorry.
Don't act
Check him out. I
surprised. We
think
have
you would
big names
enjoy
on
him.
the
He's really
show.
funny.
See, but that's
I'm
okay.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
But
he
he's-
is.
But his whole
I
career
don't know
started
who
on
that
social
is.
media. You know,
Yes,
as much
yes.
as, and I have to say, I love communicating with fans on social media. Is it my favorite thing to do? No. It's just weird how you're calculated on your talent based on
But you
social
get
media.
addicted to it. Like
But
I
he is
feel like,
talented,
oh
for
my
sure.
God, I have to put something on Twitter. I
It's
have
got
to put,
pros
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
cons.
But
Yeah.
he started on social media. Now he's
Oh, he did?
become this huge. He's performing everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
how come I don't?
And he doesn't do everything that Trump does, because Trump does a lot of bad things.
No, but a lot of his is
But
political
he
humor.
does seem
Oh,
to be
good.
doing the
mostly
ones that
political.
he wants to do.
He's still,
And
you
that
guys.
they are
he's-
very creative. He's
Very.
So creative.
And he's
creative.
and
talented.
he
Kid.
still insists of not growing his brand by
Yeah.
hiring an
Right,
a
he's still
production
doing
team.
it all.
He films it himself on a green screen. He
And
edits
edits
it.
himself.
He does everything himself. Even though
And they're
now
really
he's getting
cute.
and
paid.
so he makes fun of Trump. That's
Oh
one
my
of
God.
well, we
Heavily,
all,
yeah.
Oh,
we
you
all
have
do.
to go home.
and-
Okay, I'll
Google
look
it.
him up.
He's-
I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm so sorry.
He's the only
No,
shining,
you would enjoy it. Definitely
you know,
look it up.
he's the
I-
only
but
But to
shining
think
light
of
in this
him as a, this is
administration.
an interesting conversation, to think of him as a comedian. Is he a comedian or is he a great social media?
a humorist in a way.
Well,
I
I mean, I think of him just like. Granted,
It depends upon where is it going to go for him. You know.
Oh, it's gone
Oh,
very
I'm
far.
sure.
No, it's
Probably
gone very
turned
far. But
down
you know,
things,
how
but-
far?
I don't necessarily see him doing a stand-up
You know,
routine.
is he going to be
some-
doing this in
somewhere.
Right.
But
5
he's
years
now-
from now?
He's
you know,
now doing his show live at
Yes.
almost every venue that you can imagine.
Well, that's the thing, though. I
Yes,
think you can
he's
do that
touring.
without having
I've
to do
seen
a
him.
stand
I got to have an
carving
opportunity
out-
to see
you
him.
can do song parodies.
He might
and
be
do a whole
carving
show
out
around
something
that.
Oh, so he
that's
does
only
song
his.
parodies.
Yeah,
He
amazing.
takes songs and
He's
rewrites
very
the words.
snarky. But it almost reminds me, because you put on shows. People didn't go see a stand-up
Yeah,
comedian.
yes.
They got a full show. Oh, Chrome.
I'm sorry. The
It was
wine,
this
the wine made me-
Chateau Saint-Jean.
Yeah. Chateau Saint-Jean.
In France, if you've
Oui,
heard,
oui.
it's good.
But Rusty, I want to bring this into the whole drag conversation. You know, we're in the age of RuPaul, and whatever you say about RuPaul, because I have many things to say which are not popular, but
Really?
brought us to VH1, which was a hip hop channel, and now we're mainstream showing drag queens
Exactly.
performing.
He did that. He brought that into mainstream. Where
Yes.
now it's mainly mainstream America is watching RuPaul's
Oh,
Drag
yes.
Race.
And people think it just somehow magically happened overnight when Drag Race started. It's been a 20-year process.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
first
yeah.
few
With
seasons,
Supermodel and
Right,
you
the
know,
sets
her
would
TV
start it
they
out.
would
and her
watch.
talk show on VH1 20
Yep.
years ago with
Yep.
her Michelle
Exactly.
Visage. And you know, this has been a long time coming and a lot of work on his part to make this happen. This is not just something that Drag Race itself has spawned.
You are in a very interesting place in terms of drag, because you have your pulse on drag. You used to have to be able to sometimes sing on your own. You would have to host an event. You would have to bring a personality. You couldn't just look pretty.
Right.
And you didn't have a stylist doing it for you.
Right.
You're in the middle now, because you're dealing with queens that are from that world, but then you're dealing with queens that's like, has RuPaul kind of told us that drag queens could just sit there and be pretty?
No.
I don't think she's told us that. I think that
But the competitors, Judy, are not.
I think
not
viewers
funny.
are telling us that.
They're not able to host. They're not able to interact.
Right. I don't think Drag Race or RuPaul is telling us
It's
that. I think the
pop
viewers
culture
are telling
is
us that
moving that.
because they see somebody amazing on social media with no context of talent beyond appearance.
Kim Kardashian.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello.
Wait, she's gone to Congress. She's doing.
Oh,
Well,
we're
but
She
screwed.
was in the White
but-
House.
but it's-
Not that
We
that
are
means anything
screwed.
these
But it's
days.
I know.
because,
Oh, if she's
but
fighting
it's
for
because
us,
she's
we're over.
put her ass everywhere.
Literally.
No,
That's how
but
she got started.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and I will applaud her for standing
Turning
up
it
for
into
people
something.
A for effort.
and
yeah.
and
A for
and
that
standing
ass.
up for
Nice
prisoners and
ass.
whatever people that have been persecuted.
But
So
like Judy, when you went to see that impersonator that was impersonating you, and
Oh,
the,
yeah.
the term has gone from impersonation to now drag. It's like drag, I'm
Oh.
on my own. Where female impersonations like used to be a little bit.
Are
more
they
I
intense.
think people used to take it much more seriously. That, especially at the time I was starting out in the '90s, it was about you needed to be passable as a woman. At that point, that was the goal.
Oh,
It was I am a
right.
female impersonator. I'm
Oh,
impersonating a
yes,
female.
yes, yes.
I need you to believe that I am a woman.
right.
That was the whole goal.
And
at
they
that
could
time.
get on the microphone and entertain the crap out of you, no matter what.
Right.
Most of these drag queens, I'm sorry to say, they don't know.
They can't do it.
They don't have the humor. Sean has how has Drag Race? This goes with what we're saying. How has Drag Race changed, and how is drag compared to how it's portrayed on the show?
Well, I think one huge difference between reality and the show that has now changed reality is that in back in the day before Drag Race, you didn't know these drag queens. You had no
No.
idea what their personal
No.
lives were
Oh,
like,
absolutely
or you know how
not.
they behaved, or how they acted, or if they were
they
a
had the
bitch, or if they were
star,
sweet,
yeah.
or if they had a sob story background. You didn't know any of that. All you knew about this person was, is she amazing on stage? That's it,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's all you could base your opinion of them on.
So-
and that's why we had so many more better entertainers
Right.
because they were the ones getting booked based on what you were
So
hearing
does
from
Drag
the
Race sort of does it bring out drama where drama necessarily wouldn't
The show
be
does.
normally?
The show
Yeah.
does.
Reality
They
show.
have to
That's
get
what
Every
That's
reality
entertainment.
show is
But that's-
about
that's-
that.
that's
they
a
have
reality
to
show.
get they have to get
Reminds me of
viewers.
The lesson.
The
Right.
thing that makes me sad
Your
though,
guess.
as far as how it's affected drag shows in general, just my opinion, of course.
Yeah.
You get a lot of these people who've now made a name for themselves, and they don't really have to work for it.
Right.
You know, they come out to a club and they have a gorgeous outfit that someone made for them and a
Yes.
wig that someone made for them.
Oh.
And
Sit there and
they literally just stand there and walk the stage and take your money, take your
Oh,
money, take your
wow.
money,
That's
take
literally
your
what's
money.
happening.
There's no
Oh.
performance, there's no style, there's no art.
Yeah, yeah.
Other than right here,
Right.
which granted, that is art, and if they're doing it on their own, good for them. But they're not giving you a show.
right.
They're not performing.
And I'm wondering if this is happening with comedians, is that Hollywood's like, okay, this person we plucked from stand-up comedy because they look a certain way. Let's put them in some bad movies and put them on stage. Is that happening too?
Right. I do think it's kind of that. Or conversely, you get the ones that don't perform at all, or you get the ones that think the only thing I can do is cartwheels and shablams.
If I see another, I think death drop should be excluded
Outlawed.
from any, because, so for our listeners that don't know, a death drop, it's when you're doing a lip sync for your life and you have nothing else to do but do the splits on stage.
Oh,
Do
that!
that drop onto your back.
I don't know how they do that.
Because it's called
Lots of
making
late
up for
nights.
talent.
But still, RuPaul and his whole team seems like so
They want you
enamored
to
with that.
They do.
But that
And
doesn't
so
mean
do
it's
audiences.
a great.
That's the funny thing. So do audiences.
Yeah.
Well, you have
Somebody
to give
does
the
it, people
audience
are like,
what
"Oh
they
my
want,
God!"
right? You have to give the audience what they want.
Right.
You know, I mean-
Entertainment has just changed wildly.
Well, and
Oh,
drag-
it is. It's been. I mean,
Drag
I always
has.
said, even from the first Survivor, my whole thing with Survivor was when what's his name won the gay guy
Richard
Richard,
Hatch.
right? Richard won. But how did Richard,
Richard
win?
Hatch. That's a name from the
Ri-
past.
Richard won by
being
what he do?
sneaky.
By sneaky backstabbing and all that stuff. And what did that prove to people? That's
that's
what
the
I
way
think
to win.
That's the way to win. You
That's
want
what
to win
every
in
reality
life?
show's about now. Real
Backstab
Housewives?
people,
Yeah.
and that's how you get to win.
One, he kind of started that ball in motion.
Yeah.
Which also
Right.
gave us The Apprentice and Donald Trump.
Yeah,
Yes.
all,
Same
all of
producer.
that.
Yeah.
That's true.
I hated that aspect.
So
Hate that
America
aspect of
wanted
it.
this.
Right.
I mean, basically.
Yeah,
Because
I
they
think
wanted
so.
a good
We get
show.
what we deserve.
So, Gary, and I want to talk,
We're getting deep now.
oh.
Ooh, sound
Oh,
effect.
we have sound effects. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Real
What
fast.
does that mean?
Worst
The end
date
of the
you've ever
world.
had, Gary.
We're back to that.
Worst date I ever had, oh my God, was a guy who, he told me once that I didn't give him I interviewed him once for a job and he didn't get the job, and I didn't remember it, but he remembered it, and so he literally just it was like he was getting even with me by going out on the date with me. I think it was a Match.com or one of those things.
Oh,
And
that's
then-
weird.
And he walked out. Oh, it was a coffee date, though. It was a coffee, not a meal. But it was like, I didn't remember him. But
I still think it's cute when guys say, should we do coffee? I'm like, no, we know what's going to happen. Like,
But I didn't remember him at all. But then all of a sudden, he told the whole story of how I interviewed him and then didn't hire him and everything like that. It was like,
Wow.
what? Like,
Well, you're not getting the job now.
and it's like, yeah, you're not getting a
the
job
Worst
or
date.
My
nothing
worst
else.
date was
Yeah.
when this guy
Thing helping.
took me to his uncle's wake.
oh my God.
But she still did him.
No, I did not.
Did you stay for the whole thing?
No, I was scared shitless.
Did you
All
know
I did.
you're walking into a
No, he said we're gonna go to a restaurant, but we're gotta stop at this place.
Yes, I can see my dad.
I think you
And
probably
I
won the
thought-
night.
And then I thought, no, this is the best part. So I thought we'd go in there and I go, well, this is nice. Look at all these flowers. But yeah, then you know,
Well, you love flowers,
There's a
but then
body.
you
And then
said-
there's a coffin.
and I'm like, I don't want the flowers with the body, you know.
There's
So-
usually a stiff body by the end. Okay, Rusty.
Years and years and years ago, I went on a date, like a double date, basically, and the guy I was with was really into my friend.
Oh,
Oh, I hate that.
Oh, we hate when
That's
that
why you don't do
happens.
double
No, that
dates.
sucks.
No.
Right.
Yep.
I don't really have one. I'm sorry.
He doesn't date. He's
Oh.
practically a nun.
All your dates are
No,
fabulous.
I guess.
I think
no.
Jen is like the perfect.
I would say
He is a workaholic.
Every
That is true.
date is a bad date. Really? No, my first one. No.
Brought the whole show down.
No, slow down, because I just don't want a date. That's okay.
Oh.
That's
No,
okay.
Single.
No, actually, I do have one, and this goes
Oh,
back
you
to
do?
the AOL chat room days
Whoa.
when I lived in Michigan, Michigan,
It was like
And-
Michigan M for M, and there was like 3 people in the chat room.
and
Yep.
right,
And you already had all of them.
and he
They
damn.
were cousins. Yeah.
Okay, this is yeah. So he was not who he claimed to
You
or
still had all
appeared
of
to be in a picture. You know, when you get those pictures on AOL.
Remember when you used to have to send a picture through AOL? It would have to like
10 minutes to
scan.
load.
Oh
It was
my
like,
God.
you
Oh,
better
yeah.
be real
You
cool.
had to make sure you had no phone calls coming in.
You guys
too.
got to the eyebrows and you're
Right,
like,
yeah,
no.
yeah.
Phone calls, you had a separate line, girl.
Well, maybe you did.
Maybe in Michigan.
Is, is
Yes, yeah.
are we living in a finite universe?
Are we sure?
No, we're gonna. Yeah.
She's still
okay.
waiting on pizza.
I have 2 more questions, and then yeah.
Okay, I know.
I know. Rapid fire.
We better get. Oh, okay.
Okay, so it was.
That was it.
Oh,
It
okay.
was just a bad date. It was a bad date.
So nervous. Judy
It was from
Tenuta.
AOL. He was not who I
Judy
thought
Tenuta
he'd be.
just tapped her watching you.
He Yeah.
My worst thing about the whole thing with pictures, I hate when someone
She
when they
needs
have a
to tap to
picture
watch you put
when
a-
they were
a
like
curse on me.
20 years,
I
they're
think-
50, they're 40 or 50, and
well,
they show a
yeah.
picture from when they were 20.
So-
I'm like, I don't need.
Oh, no.
I don't need to see a picture from when you were 20
Right,
years
no.
old.
Can we add some? No,
You put
answer
the
it.
sign on your door
I
that
wanna
says
know
"Come back when you look
now.
like your picture."
Yeah.
We're gonna add some reverb to it. Okay.
so
So we're gonna make a remix. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna, because we started super late, we're gonna end this. But in us talking about, and Gary, I know that you do a radio show yourself.
Yes, I do.
You know, and I love to talk to fellow broadcasters because it's a very different beast. Like today,
It is very
this is
different
what
beast,
happened.
yeah.
Right.
I have like 4 pages of research on you.
Yeah.
We barely got to like talk about
It's
that.
a lot of
Things
work.
happen.
Talked about a lot.
Wow.
Well, we did most of that out there.
Yeah. What is your favorite part about doing a radio show? What is your least favorite part?
My favorite part of I'll tell you, my favorite part is the research, because my show is an LGBT themed show. So what it does, it keeps me so informed and engaged. I know what's going on around the world and the country, because I'm every night, literally, like even tonight when I go back to my hotel room, unless I pick up somebody, no, I'm going
With
to
those pants?
I'm going. That's you don't like my pants?
She was gonna go to Whole
Oh,
Foods.
these are cute. I wore them especially for
Barnum
you.
and Bailey Circus. If you're in town, I have a man for you.
right here. But I get to really keep up on everything that's going on in our community, and I love that aspect of it. The part I like the least is looking for the guests. I love when I find a good get, when I able to really connect with somebody. I love that. But it's every week to get
Somebody.
somebody on the show is always it's a challenge.
People never realize how many hours actually go into one broadcast.
When I start,
Right.
when I first,
When,
when they
like
asked
in a
me,
show, it's like, oh, it's like a fun direction. No, it's not.
yeah. Well, I can't believe I probably I do an hour show once a week on Thursday nights, 8 to 9 on KSVY Sonoma 91.3 FM. But I probably put about 10 hours a week into that 1 hour show, just from all the research, like I said, reading articles, which ones do I want to talk about, and studying my notes for the show, and then again finding the guests for the show, and then studying up about them. It's a lot.
Yeah.
So, like Alex Jones, does to bring him up, but do you know who that is? The InfoWars guy?
The who?
The
You guys don't know
InfoWars.
who this is?
No.
Info
Alex
Wars?
Jones, InfoWars.
No,
Info-
who's
no.
that?
Oh no, you guys! But I was just thinking, like, he never does any research. There's no way, but he just is out there doing lies. But if you do your research, that just shows.
That's weird. Because, Judy, I did a lot of research, and I saw
It's weird.
like a podcast that you did, and it was so awful. The guy knew nothing about you. I think that's the rudest thing that you can do to any celebrity.
That is
because
rude.
We know radio, and
really?
or when you have a celebrity come to your event, like
And
it's,
it's
an honor.
so easy to get. All you have to do is
Information.
Google me.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh my God.
you don't even have to go to my website. Just Google me.
Exactly.
One fast thing, and then we're gonna end. You do a lot of things vocally, and so one of the questions I got from a singer, actually, because you do voices, and your voice never cracks. You're always in perfect pitch in terms of your voices, because you go real high to like.
Oh, you
Yeah.
pig.
Yeah. Do you do vocal exercises? How do you keep your voice healthy on the road?
Oh.
It's called vodka. No,
girl.
I'm teasing. No. I don't smoke, and I think that's very important. Anybody who smokes, I know singers who smoke because they want to lower their voice. One of them is Britney Spears, but
She wants to have
I
a
don't know
voice,
her.
so she's smoking everything she
I
can.
don't care. I love her.
I didn't know that smoking could affect autotune.
I don't care. I love her.
Brenda Vaccaro just came out with a single. It's amazing.
Who did?
Brenda Vaccaro.
Bonnie Tyler.
Instead of Betty Davis eyes, it's Betty Davis toes. It's wonderful. Is it slower? Is that a bad joke? I'm telling bad jokes too.
That's a dad joke.
That's
Is that
like
really?
She's got
I-
better days to.
I don't know. But no. I'm sorry. Now I forgot what I was.
No, we're talking. How do you keep your voice healthy? Because you've traveled on the road and people expect you.
Because I'm not doing that all day. When I'm doing a show, I don't talk. I try not to talk to people
Yeah.
too much because I do a lot of vocal calisthenics on stage. So I can't. It's like a singer doesn't talk during the day. I
Yep.
might talk a little bit, but I have to save it for the stage.
But like right before you go on, do you do a little like little warm up thing, or do the,
Oh, yeah,
like, the
I go-
throat spray, the singer spray?
She gargles wine from out in the
That's
vineyard.
Yes, that's right. Chateau St. Jean
Speaking of
wine.
which, thank you, Chateau St. Jean.
Thank you. Cheers.
So I have to say, it's funny because we had a musical theater episode last week. We had Broadway's David Burnham here. We had
Oh.
Christina Bianco, and they
love her.
talk like this.
yes.
And Kurt,
because, but they,
it's like,
they're,
And she's
because
like,
there's,
I'm having such a fun time. I'm like,
no. It's all
is a hell
about
of a
their
drug.
singing. So they're saving their voices. Now, the only one that but you know who's, okay, never mind.
But you know,
no.
She was gonna give us some
Yeah,
dirt.
Yeah, no starting stories and then not finishing
No,
them.
no.
It's not anything other than I saw Celine Dion and she's actually kind of funny.
Oh, yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah.
She really is.
She also has a
Kook.
team of whatever she wants. If she wants a chef, a comedian, a stylist, she has a full team.
But she is kooky though. She is.
She's
hilarious.
Does that make her
kooky.
funny?
She
Did you
is.
watch her?
It's because she's not eating food.
karaoke.
Yeah, did you watch the
Yeah.
karaoke
Oh
with
my
her?
God, she was so funny.
James Corden
She
made her
was
give away
funny.
shoes. It
No,
was
I know.
hilarious.
It was fun. No, not those. You can't have those. Yeah, she has like unlimited shoes. Like,
Wow.
and
Yeah.
range.
yes.
Judy, what tip would you give to a comedian starting out today?
Really? Sleep with a big star.
Mm.
No, I really mean, if you want
Like we're
to,
laughing, but this is the reality.
I,
this day and age.
I mean, if you can hook up, I'm not saying you have to sleep, but become really good friends. Like, look at somebody like Robert De Niro. He became best friends with Scorsese. Okay? Is there a Scorsese film without Robert De Niro? You know.
And look
but
at
And I thought two bottoms didn't make a right.
Are you saying
Well,
they stuck
and
together?
Leonardo DiCaprio is kind of done the same
they're
thing.
Yeah.
yes, but they're
the next
really
generation.
they're
Oh,
tight.
yeah.
No,
Yes.
I'm not saying they're having sex.
No.
Is everything?
Right.
No, that
They
but
help each other.
They're
really.
in a
I mean,
room full of the gays.
He's a great
yeah. You
but
just
it's just the
assume.
thing. You
I
get a
guess you
certain-
must think. Do you think I'm doing that all the I can't be bothered. Anyway, yeah, really.
cannot
it's for
possess
me.
you.
Yeah, they cannot possess me. You're right. I have to have pastries and flowers. But anyway, yes, we know that.
Pastry and flowers.
That's
I'll
right.
remember that.
no. But wait a minute.
tips for young.
Oh, tips.
Yep.
What did I just tell you?
Sleep with everybody.
No, not everybody.
And it's not
Sleep
just
with
for
somebody.
Really?
friends.
And I don't
Yeah.
necessarily mean sleep. Hook on to.
yeah.
I
Become
really
friends
mean
and
that.
Network and ingratiate
Somebody
yourself.
that can bring you up.
Well,
Right.
I really mean that. By the way, of course, you must define who you are first.
Yes.
Really study, really work, but then
Mm-hmm.
you still need that help. You
I
still.
agree.
So Dolly Parton, Celine Dion, they all did that. When you think about it,
Oh.
their
It's
Branding
husbands
right at the beginning.
were were their business managers
Yeah.
basically.
You have to, as you
Loretta
said,
Lynn, all of
create
them.
who you are.
Yes.
But you still want to have that
You-
association with
you
somebody else that
can
builds you.
bring you up. And I mean
But
by
don't want
by
to-
bring you up, it's not like in the song "Bring Me Up." No. Uh,
That was Josh Groban, right?
yes. Oh
He
my.
loved his manager.
He needs to go to sleep.
Ooh.
Oh really?
Sure.
Oh, so
His music puts me to sleep, so is that the same?
Oh, he
Yes.
does. He puts me to sleep too.
So I have to do this this bookend on this. You know, we have a lot of entertainers that listen to the show at different stages of their career, and it's about branding. Gary, we know exactly when we see your Instagram and out Gary and out in the vineyard.
All gang.
No, we see, but it's like a refined. Like we're hanging out of all different people, and we're just sharing a moment where you put your cell phones away. And we know
Yes.
that from your branding. Judy, your branding, obviously, 2-time Grammy nominee, goes without saying. It's your brand. People know what they're gonna get, and so
I hope.
if you don't have our albums, you have to download them because
And
it's
also
still relevant.
yes, and also look at me on
Yes.
YouTube, and also I'm on Instagram, and I have little things.
And your website, judytenuta.com.
Malaria. Now I'm into malaria now.
Can we
I
mention
love it.
the star dedication that's coming up for her as well?
Yeah.
Oh my God! I just was so absorbed with all of you. I forgot about that.
So what is
But-
this about a star dedication?
Yes, she's
Jeff
getting-
knows all.
Well, you
about
had
it.
it in Vegas
I
on your
did.
birthday.
I did.
Happy
I had,
birthday in
Thank
November,
you,
by the way.
November 7th. But there's the Gay Pride Parade in Palm Springs, which I love to want to do. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to travel in the giant stiletto. And the next day, which is not my birthday, but it's very close to my birthday, we're going to I'm doing the star. Which, by the way, from the first time I started working at the Copa, even before that, when I worked at Heaven, do you remember a club called Heaven? Yeah, I would say, how do you get a star on the Walk of Stars here? And really, I was always thinking about that.
You have to sleep with Jeffrey.
Oh, he doesn't. No, he doesn't want
Jeffrey?
to. He doesn't want to sleep with me, but he.
But I do want to give you a star.
Yay! So.
And you're getting a star.
So maybe you can talk about like the Walk of Fame, like what,
Yes.
like
Walk
what
of
are the
the Stars.
parameters? Because when you come to Palm Springs, there's so many reasons to come to Palm Springs. Number
Oh, yes.
one, to see Rusty.
Oh.
Yes.
Number one, to hang out with family, because you will meet family whether
Yep.
your own family is not your family. You will find family in Palm Springs. But Palm Springs Walk of Fame is such a great organization that is reminding the young kids who have paved the ways. Carol Cook was doing it.
Yeah.
Like, but it's literally Palm Springs Walk of Fame is what's happening, who's telling our story.
Well, you can walk down Palm Canyon, and the Walk of the Stars really, every star you step on is telling a little piece of what's the prominence of
Yes.
Palm Springs. It's what's built Palm Springs. So
Yes, I
everybody
stepped
there,
over Ross Matthews many times.
And okay. and
Now we're going to step over you.
yes. Oh yeah.
Anyway, all joke aside, sorry, I had to throw that joke in. But okay.
But I mean, even Shirley Claire, who just recently got a star, said, "I want people to walk all over me."
I love her.
Who got a star?
Shirley
Shirley
Claire.
Claire.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's a cabaret legend, Follies performer, one of the original
One of
Follies.
the original Follies.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
She's a.
I miss the Follies Theater in Palm Springs, by the way.
Yeah.
I hear it's being renovated.
I heard
Yes,
that
the
too.
Plaza
Coming
Theater's
back.
being renovated.
That's so exciting.
And it's interesting. A lot of very big name celebrities want a stake in
Want
all
to do
that.
something
Yeah,
there.
sure.
Yeah.
Okay. sorry. No,
Shut up already.
No, it's not that. It's like no, but what's,
Period.
Yeah, but the Walk of Fame, like you.
So the Walk of Fame is in Hollywood.
Yes.
But the Walk of the Stars is Palm
Yes.
Springs. So
Yes.
we do make that distinction because branding is important. But we can't say Walk of Fame because we would be in trouble.
Right,
so-
and the Walk
Yeah.
of Shame.
Oh, that's right. It's the Walk
Is
of
in
Stars.
Vegas?
Warm sands.
yeah. What, are they,
Wow.
what is it called in
Or
Vegas?
with your little
Do we know? I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm never
So-
ashamed of that.
Walk of the Stars in Vegas, and
Yeah.
you dedicated it. It's such a beautiful because, like Vegas, we appreciate big name comedians.
Oh, in Vegas?
Your stars on the Walk of Vegas.
Oh yeah, I know that.
Yeah,
but
oh,
I'm
okay.
I'm excited.
You're making me think, oh, no.
But you have to remember how
20
this,
pages
this
of
all
research,
start.
girl.
All this started. I wanted a star in Palm Springs because I always worked it. I worked in Palm Springs a lot. I did work in Vegas, but it was earlier in my career. I worked a lot, at some hotels that I also closed, like the Sahara. Like no, I didn't close it, but you know. Yeah.
So the whole thing was like about branding, and I want you to give our viewers and listeners, because your branding is spot on.
Me?
Yeah.
Really?
When you see Rusty Waters, and what I love about you is you haven't tried to modify who you are
No.
or what your comedy is or your shows are. Your gowns, your everything.
It's
And
true.
how you
I-
sort of bring
I like to do some old school glamour, some old school drag,
Right.
really and truly. Some double entendre, some comedy. I like to to
a
be
classy
that
event,
that
always.
middle of the road, between what drag used to be and what drag now is. And I like to be that something in the middle. And when I first started doing drag, I have this idea in my head of what I wanted Rusty to be, the character of Rusty. I wanted to look like Donna Reed and sound like Archie Bunker.
that's
Where you just want to come up and give her a hug, and she's
Tim
like,
Burton
"Get
wouldn't even be able
away."
to make that work.
Like,
wow.
where you just want to come hug her because she's in
That's
the 50s
really
housewife dress and the
interesting.
pearls, and then
That's really
you come up and it's like, get the hell away from me, you punk. Yeah.
Meathead.
Because that they just don't go together, and that's what I love is that juxtaposition. I just think that's fun.
But what do you do, and you haven't mentioned, you mentor. There are a lot of...
I do. You
do these shows.
Because I don't even really think about that. I just think that that's something that we should all be doing, and it should just be a given. And I know that not everyone does.
No.
Comedians are not doing it. LGBT community is not doing it because we're so jealous of everybody.
Right. But you know what? If we took all the time to build each other up.
Not you. No. That's
Oh,
no.
The guy's gonna be. No.
Can we all do yoo-hoo? 1, 2, 3. Yoo-hoo! Okay.
Pigs.
Do that your own home.
Yeah.
I will.
Tell our viewers and listeners where they can follow you.
All right. Well, you can follow me at RustyWaters25 on Instagram, Miss Rusty Waters on Facebook, and Miss Rusty Waters on Twitter as well. You can find me at the Menagerie Riverside for Drag Me to Brunch and all over Palm Springs with dragme2events.com, where you can also book private parties and events through me as well.
It's actually amazing, and I'm telling you, because, our listeners are national. Make your vacation trip to Palm Springs.
Yes.
Rusty will be there. She'll take good care of you.
We're going to take care of you. You might not remember it, but you're going to have a good time.
Hunters is the nightclub that everybody goes to.
Hunters is
Gay,
the place
straight,
to be.
Okay, I'm
brides.
going.
They like me some days.
Even
some
I
others.
know that.
It's, yeah.
Jeff, okay, tell our viewers and listeners where they can find you.
In Palm Springs, working.
No,
Yes.
your Instagram.
A regular
works.
What does
job.
it say?
He works.
My Instagram is Insta_Denean_Graham.
He's such a great spokesperson for Palm Springs because
Yes.
you're encapsulating the energy. You guys have to watch his Instagram. He's a bigger Instagram star than I am.
It's more, yeah.
Me too.
Oh.
Me too.
Yeah. You guys, I know we had some technical difficulties, and can we give a hand to Kurt because it wasn't.
Kurt!
Thank you.
It wasn't your fault, but he really. Otherwise, we were gonna have to cancel the show. Do you have a quick?
What a pun.
Yeah,
I'm.
Judy. I'm sorry.
I'll grab one from my bag of tricks. I was someone threw a Coke at me the other day. Luckily, it was a soft drink.
We start the show like that so we get our groan over. So that, yeah. Thank you, Kurt.
You're welcome.
Honestly, Kurt, thank you for everything you do for the show. That was not your fault today. Big thank you for our guest today, my guest co-hosts, Rusty Waters and Jeff Denean
Thank you for
Jones,
having us.
Mama Rose in the chat room, Here TV, and our loyal listeners. You have to share us, tweet us, whatever. Everything is On the Rocks there. Coming up, we have American Idol's Effie Passero. We have Glee's Rylan. And then we booked this today. Star Trek Legacy owner Rod Roddenberry is coming
Get
on.
out of town.
Do you regret being at this episode?
No.
No, she's just going to be back.
No, but here's the thing. It's like,
We're staying.
We're staying.
yeah. At every episode, you never know who's going to be on the camera. So thank you so much for supporting On the Rocks radio show. See you next Tuesday, everybody. Wave!
Bye, bitches.
This is On the Rocks with Alexander, coming at you live, where I drink with your favorite celebrities as we talk about fashion, entertainment, pop culture, reality TV, and, well, that's about it. So pop a cork, lean back, and raise a glass to On the Rocks.